Here's the deal. The TT's got push to pass. It's freaking cool. You only get 16 of them. It's printed in the rear window, so when your competitor drives by you, you can look and see he's only got 8 presses left, and I got 9. I'm gonna sit on his ass and I'm gonna wait him out.
Hi, and welcome to a new edition of Who Is That Guy? Who Is That Guy is an attempt to get to know the guys a little bit better that you race with on track. And today our guest is Rob Milliken.
Hello, everybody.
Yay!
Hello.
Rob, are you ready
Yes.
for the Spanish Inquisition?
Sí, hombre, este no problema para mí porque el español. Yo
Okay.
trabajo en Los Cabos, a la
Well, you've lost
pescadero,
me
a la
now.
lancha barco. Okay.
Well, you've been to college.
No, actually, I dropped out of high school
You dropped
and
out of high
became
school
a
because
yeah.
of your
I lived
police
down by
record.
Mexico.
Ah,
No, I was smuggling drugs out of Mexico and making
yeah.
a good living at it and coming into the
Okay.
United States. It
Well,
was
that's
quite intriguing, you know. They made some movies after me, but
you've
anyway,
made
I
a
got through that.
yeah. You've made a respectable living for yourself. Well done.
Yeah, but no. Now I worked for the. I actually worked for
Now
the
you work for the
state of
CIA.
Washington. No, I work in the school district. So I work for
Oh,
facilities and
okay.
maintenance. Yeah, we take care of all the grounds schools. No, we have 16 schools that we manage there that we do all the facilities on. So
Well,
we
it's
take care
nice
of all the
that
schools.
you address that because that is the first question. Who is Rob
Oh, okay.
Milliken? I want to know your age. What work do you do? Are you married? Do you have children? And from what
Holy
country?
crap.
So let's start with age. How old are you?
I am 60 years old, born in 1956 in Riverside, California.
Okay, that's done. What kind of job do you have?
Well, I've had several through my years.
Oh,
I was
currently, or the
currently,
okay,
for
let's
currently,
the one that you enjoy the most.
the most exciting one was when I owned and operated my own charter boats down in Southern California, Mexico. Did that for almost 20 years, and I just
Hmm.
took people fishing for a living, and it was amazing.
And what is your current job then?
Now I work for the South Kitsap School District at Facilities and Maintenance, where we take care of all the
Ah,
grounds, the insides of the schools, the boilers, the heaters, the
you're the
AC,
technical
anything,
guy.
everything. Yeah, we're the guys they call when stuff goes wrong, which is a couple times a day everywhere. And there's 16 schools in our district that we work
Okay.
on. So
Children. How many children? Do you have children? And how many?
yes, I have 2 awesome sons that are in their 30s now. Holy crap, I'm old. And then I have 2 stepdaughters that are 24 and
Yeah.
19. So yeah, and they're really not steps down. I mean, we're not married, but I basically raised them. So
Yeah. Okay.
they call me, their dad. It's all good.
So you've got some parental crafts.
Yes, got through both of them. My best part about the boys was I coached 9 years of Little League baseball, and it was just
Ah.
amazing. I loved it. And both kids, yeah. And we went to, I took them to 3 All-Star tournaments where you get the All-Star team at the end of the year. And they gave me the All-Star team every year at the end. And 3 times we went to state, and we finished second twice, and we were eliminated
Good
another
job.
time earlier.
Ah,
But
that's so
yeah,
sad.
yeah, it was really tough,
Yeah.
and I
How
could tell
how
you
did the boys
stories.
take it?
They're fine. The kids are great. It's the parents that go nuts. You can, the kids, it's like, hey, all right, you guys did a great job. And then 20
Mm,
minutes later, they're out playing with their friends and
yeah.
everything's good. But the parents are calling you all night. What happened? Why did that ump make that call?
Yeah.
Can you call someone? Can you complain? It's like, yeah,
Exactly. Mm.
it's all good. But great,
So,
great years. And then soccer with the girls and volleyball, girls volleyball. I grew up playing beach volleyball.
ah,
'Cause where I actually grew up was in Southern California on the beaches of, Laguna Beach, right down there in the beach. So
that's half a century
really,
ago.
yes,
Yeah.
but I still remember it. I
Were
still
you a
remember it.
hippie?
No, my brother was a hippie, and I was his little brother, so I was a little hippie.
You were a
Our
little hippie.
generation was kind of our generation got really a kind of a raw deal because a lot of the hippies, it was a lot of Vietnam stuff, and I'm just pre-Vietnam. I missed it by like 2 years, right?
Okay.
But
Hmm.
my brother went, and that whole thing. So these were our role models. These
Yeah.
drugged out, pot smoking, acid dropping
Yeah.
hippies. These were our role models.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
but I played music all my life, and I think music got me through all that because since I was probably 11 or 12, my brothers and my father were all drummers. So
Yeah.
we've all drummed. So in the midst of every job and everything I did, I still always played music,
Yeah.
which I still do today, and I'm going to tonight
Yeah.
because every Monday and Saturdays we play. But this
And
is, of course, a
actually,
holiday.
as you know, I've used some of your music as a background
This is
for
right.
some of my
Yeah,
videos.
right.
Yeah.
I
And,
throw them on mine. I've got some new stuff too because our new bass player, we got a bass player. Well, he's not new. He came back and him and I were doing some chops. So I've been putting some of
mm,
them on my little preview races for the
man,
track.
I wish I was sitting right next to you because I want to have your autograph.
Right?
It might
See?
it might be worth something in the future. I can say
It's probably on
I
record
used to
somewhere.
race that guy, you know.
No, no,
Okay,
no.
next question. How did you start sim racing and with what game?
My sim racing career came straight out of my love for flying Falcon for micropros online, you know,
Yeah, flight
the
simulators.
yes, I started with Jane's, all the Jane's games, and then I made some friends, and we all put a group together, the 388th. We had our squadron, and then we started flying Falcon.
Ah,
And then, as you know, to play Falcon, that's how I learned how to work on the computer. Because if
ah,
you can't do the computer, you can't play Falcon. Because that's how I learned how to change files and swap distance, blah blah blah. It was
okay.
my
Yeah, yeah,
training.
yeah.
It was a training ground.
How
And
did you
then,
make the
so
transition then?
I'll tell you, you'll be sorry. No.
I'll stick it out.
And then one of my buddy, my good buddy Ross, who's founded the league that we were in, the squadron we were on, and we flew for 10 years. We flew the sim, right? And the
Mm.
BMS came out, all these changes. And then one day he sends me this link. He goes, "Check this out. This is this racing simulator, and it
Yeah.
looks just like it looks as real when you're doing multiplay as it does offline. It looks as good offline as online because back then that
Mm.
was the thing. You kind of got all chopped up. Online wasn't as good as offline
What
on
year
these
we're
games.
talking then?
Oh hell, I gotta remember. It's had to be 14, 15 years ago.
Ah, okay.
Okay. It was R Factor 1 just came out. So
Aha.
whenever that just came out,
Yeah.
so he sent me the demo. I went on it, and we're from flight sims, you get a sense of speed. When you're taking off, you're going by the ground, it's really fast. But then when you get in the air, you really don't have a sense of speed until something
Mm.
goes by you.
Yeah.
The first time I spun a lap in that simulator RF1 in the game, and I saw the speed and the turn, I was hooked. From that day,
Yeah.
I was hooked, and I have never stopped since that day.
It's in your
So
blood now.
yeah, because I always raced when I was a kid. I had slot cars. My dad used to take me to Riverside Raceway. I was born in Riverside, California.
Yeah, yeah.
My dad took me to the raceway like 2, 3 times a year.
Yeah.
We would go. And so I had that experience as a little kid. I got to see Dan Gurney and all those guys racing
Ah,
all those
okay.
awesome cars. And it was this road track with a bank turn at the one end. And we
Yeah.
got to sit right across from the pits. So that's what kind of got me into racing. That and my brother's buddy raced the speedway bikes,
Yeah.
and there was a place out at Laguna, not Laguna Seca. Don't get confused with that because that's farther north. But this was a little track where they raced speedway, and so as he had to babysit me because I was 10 years younger,
Mm.
I got to go with them whenever he wanted to go to a race, and he was babysitting. I got to go. And I love cars. My dad loved cars. He had a Citroen Maserati the first year it came out with the Citroen body on the Maserati Slant Six airplane engine in it with
Mm.
hydraulic
An airplane
suspension
engine.
where you yes, a Slant Six. It was a Slant Six
Mm.
Mitsubishi Citroen Maserati. It
Mm.
was a Maserati engine with a Citroen body, and it's like they finally got rid of the big bubble body. They gave it the space age deal. It had hydraulic lift in the front and back. So if you saw a 2x4 on the road, you could pull this lever and the whole car would go up 6 inches. And then you could drop it down. You could rake it. It was just an insane machine.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
had the most unusual steering. And I'll just real quick because the steering was fascinating since we're all drivers. Okay, you know how bicycle, when you turn the wheel on the bicycle, you turn the handlebars, the wheel moves with the right.
Yeah.
So you go that's 90 degrees and it's halfway across. This Citroen was exactly like that. The steering wheel stopped at 90 degrees because the wheels were jacked all the way. You couldn't
Okay.
go around and around with the steering wheel.
No.
Then as you drove it, the increased inertia on your hands, you didn't turn the wheel, you just held onto it and leaned with it because the slightest turn would make it turn.
Yeah.
And it was the more fast, the more speed, the more resistance. It was insane. You got to look that car up. It was
Why
car
didn't
of the
they
year,
give
I
it
think,
more
in like
rotation then?
I remember I was a bad kid. I wanted to drive it so bad. I actually snuck in and I took my dad's keys and I took this thing out and I
No.
raced a Porsche down Coast Highway to Newport Beach in this thing, and he completely kicked my ass in the turns. And then we got to the straight and I opened that thing up and I flew by him.
Hmm?
So that was I think I was like 16 years old.
Well, old enough to get in trouble, I guess.
Yes. And then I was trying to sneak it back to the middle of the night, and I turned off the key, and I'm coasting down the hill, and I turned in the driveway, and my dad's standing in the garage.
How did he
Yeah.
know?
Oh, I don't know, but he knew.
Sixth
I didn't
sense.
drive anything for a long time after that.
I bet you couldn't sit as well for a long time.
No, it was pretty. Thank goodness we had the beach. I could just go down there. And
So that was
soak
R
in the
Factor
water.
1 when you popped your cherry.
Yes, R Factor. Yes.
Yeah.
And then I was a big when R Factor 2 came out, I jumped on and I was an advocate from the very beginning, and I pushed at Race to Play to have races, and they're going, no, there's no content. I kept pushing, and finally, he let me have a couple series, and now we know where we are with that.
But by my
And then I remember-
experience, you like Assetto Corsa better than R Factor 2.
No, see, now that's a misconception. And why are you thinking that? Because I put all these sort
Because
of things here.
you're mostly to be found on Assetto Corsa. Not so
No,
much.
that's here
on-
because at SRO, he asked me, can you do my Assetto Corsa? And I said, yeah.
Mm.
So that's why I go, I really would rather do the R Factor series. But
Oh, so it's
I'll
not a
run those-
preference for you.
No,
Oh, I
R
thought
Factor
so.
2 is my fave. R Factor 2 is my fave.
Really?
AC is my second. Yep.
You could have fooled
Yep.
me.
No. And then Race to Play, that's all I did was R Factor 2 races for FKR. They were all, and so, but we needed somebody to run the servers for him, so I told him I would do it. So I'm running all the SROs, and I love AC. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I think in it, there's a big, whatever. Everybody likes this. For me, AC is a little bit more forgiving. I find myself being able to push easier in
Yeah.
AC than in R Factor. I really got to watch the rear a little bit.
And
You know,
R Factor 2 is
Factor's
a bit more simulated, I think.
Yes, it's a little bit trickier,
Yeah.
but it's just the feeling is just amazing in
Assetto
both
Corsa
sims. But,
looks nicer, but R Factor 2 is a bit more of a sim, in my view.
Mhm.
Moving on. What is your favorite track and why?
My favorite what?
Your favorite track, your favorite racetrack.
Oh, jeez.
And in what
Louise.
sim? What sim is your favorite racetrack and why
Oh,
is it
man.
your favorite track? Or just name one that comes to you right now.
Well, I really love this DTM. I've been wanting a DTM. I always ran FKR DTM, so I like the idea of those cars battling each other, the Audi, the BMW, and the Mercedes.
But that is the mod. I want to know about the track.
For the tin tops. Track-wise, gosh, I don't know. My favorite tracks, I have a lot of them, so it's hard
What
to
do you
say.
get
I love
excited
Sao
for?
Paulo.
Sao Paulo? Okay.
I like Sao Paulo. I like Monza with the low downforce and the high speed.
The modern
um,
one.
Yeah. I like
Okay.
the old ones too, and I love Spa. Everybody loves Spa, that kind of stuff. Some of the shorter tracks, I really enjoyed Toban. I don't know, a lot of people have raced it, but that's a tough track too. So any kind of track that demands a little bit of respect, and it can also have some fun spots on it. I like them. I don't really have a super favorite.
What makes you
Like-
like a track? If it's fast or if it's technical?
Well, here's one that I'll talk about AC for a minute because we'll go down to my second. I love the GT3 BMW Z3 at Mugello.
Yeah.
I can just haul ass on that. I've got every corner down where I can take it, and I can be really competitive there. So that makes me like it because hey, I'm fast here. So I think tracks that you're good at become your favorites, right? So that's kind of how it works.
Because
for me.
that track suits your driving style.
or I've done it enough, and I've done this like I was talking earlier with the public servers. I've done it, over and over on this one floor pedal to the metal server, and I started tweaking the set, and next thing I know, I'm in first, I'm in third, I'm in the top 5 all the time. It's like, this is great. So just
Do you spend a lot of
learning it.
time on setups or do you just use the default ones?
In AC, I'll start with default and I will work it from there because it's a little. I grew up with R Factor 1, so I kind of understand that a little bit better. Although AC's explains it really good, and then PCARS also explains it well. So if you read everything, because pretty much these things model the same type of, if damper's going to be damper on all the cars.
Yeah.
Right. So I've learned a lot through those 3 sims with P cars and AC, just reading the headers and tweaking the dampers. I can lower the ride height, but I'm going to stiffen this up because I don't want it to bounce on the ground type of stuff. So I will probably spend a third of the time on setup when I'm preparing for a race.
Okay.
I'll just get in there, I get the gears right, and then I start looking at tire pressures and tire temps, and I try to get the tires right, and then I just try to get it where I can feel, and if I'm losing the rear, then I'll tweak this, tweak that, So
You're just focusing on making it drivable.
right. So I'll get on a server, and I just want to feel comfortable so I can push. I want to be able to push and not be out of control and be able to save it. Like the worst thing that happens, everybody, this is 90% of what I see online, is the snap oversteer on exit that people have. You can tune that out, with toe and rear track bar and other different little tricks and stuff. And I've been using the dampers a lot to do that too, because you can change, if it has oversteer, you raise the back. If it has understeer, you lower the back type of stuff.
That's basic. Yeah.
Yeah, basic stuff that I just tweak with until I feel comfortable, because it all comes down to feel and confidence. I think, when you're driving, if you feel, like, oh my God, I got to be careful in this turn. Well, guess what? You're going to be back in the 15th and 16th place because you can't do it. You want to be able to attack every apex. And when you can attack every apex, then you're competing for, top 5 positions.
Okay, so you are in a race. You're following someone, or you're driving alone, and this race is important for you. So you're coming down the straight, and you're coming up to a technical corner. What goes through your mind? How do you attack the corner?
I want to just try to repeat consistency. This is just, I do this in my drumming too. You have to hit your marks every freaking time. And you can't think. If you're thinking about that, you've already blown your turn. All you want to be doing is looking to your breaking point and your apex. And just, my thought is on the gas as soon as I can. Yeah. It's slow in, fast out. That's what works for me. So that's what I try to concentrate. But then, like you said, oh my God, last race. So now I'm like, oh my God, I just got to do this one more time. Oh my God, if I can just maintain this. And like, oh shit, I'm now a little wide and I've lost, a half a second. It's like, so if you're thinking that, then you might not have the best opportunity to win.
So are you driving on instinct, or does it go by a thought process?
It is a combination of both. All the driving feel and all that stuff comes instinctively, but once you learn your braking points, that's the more technical side. So once it's like everybody says it over and over, you got to do laps. If you practice and you're practicing good habits, a lot like golf, you can practice a bad golf swing and be a horrible golfer, or you can practice a good golf swing and be a good golfer. Yeah. So if you're like practicing on the right direction, then you can improve your times.
So what I'm looking for when I approach a corner, I'm looking for balance. I want to have a car that's balanced going in.
Yes, excellent.
Exactly, and then I want the car height to level out so that it doesn't become jerky. And then, just like you, I want to accelerate as early as possible without having to lift the throttle again.
Right. Yeah. And when you get it in that groove, because you don't even have to give the wheel input; it's already right there. You just through that apex, and that all comes down to the set preparation. Once you get confident with that set that the car is going to be balanced when you lift, a little bit of brake. Sometimes I might right brake a little bit to throw the nose up a little, right? Or to whatever I need to. But then that's taking time away every time. If you can get through there without a brake and just a lift, that's when you're on. That's what those aliens do, man. They just zip around there and they hit every apex. They're lining up for the apex 200, 100 meters away from the turn. They're set for it already, and they just rip right through it.
So when you're on the track and things go wrong, how do you react? Are you upset? Do you lose your motivation, or do you start overdriving the car to make up time? What happens in your mind?
Well, all 3 of those things always come in when you get in a wreck. The first thing is that, oh, that bleeping, fucking bleeping. Why the bleep did he brake so soon? Yeah. Okay, but for me, I just get over it, because I'm not a quitter. I'm going to stay in the race. I'm not going to get a DNF.
Okay.
So I am going to start what I finished. Yeah. And then I just try to focus and come back. And it's happened to me like endless times. But, I'll be in 16th and then I'll finish 8th. And to me, that's a victory. I've had a great day because I got wiped out. I was in the top 5. I had this incident. This happened. I'm 16th, but there's 20 minutes left. So I battled back to 8th because other people have been unfortunate too. So I just don't like to ever give up.
So
I
you're
just want
not
to.
destroyed by it.
No, I'm not destroyed by it. No.
Okay, good.
Now sometimes I have had that where I've gone over the edge, but that can be just having a bad day on top of everything.
Yeah.
You know, it's not so much the sim racing as it is, but I never kicked the dog.
Mm.
So
Well, good. Uh,
I learned from being a golfer that you got to be able to just take that stuff on the chin and just move on.
oh, you golf as well.
Yeah, I played golf all my life. I graduated from the Arnold Palmer Golf Academy when I was 11.
Okay.
I'm currently about a 6 handicap when I can play during the summers, and then
Ah, so
the
that's your
beginning
other
of the year,
passion.
yeah, that and fishing. I was a charter boat, the skipper, the
Oh,
golfing,
then you
and
gotta
music.
play. What's that called? Far Cry 5.
Okay,
That's got fishing in it.
nice.
Yeah. Do you play first-person shooters?
I do. I enjoy them. I think that for me, at being 60, and you're going in there playing these,
Yeah.
15-year-old kids that just have all these, codes and
And that energy that they have,
there's,
unbelievable.
yeah, and I don't know how they shoot you right in the eye from, around
Yeah.
a corner, but that part of it kind of discourages me. But I've always loved first-person shooters. That,
Yeah.
we started with Counter Strike back when we were doing our flight sim. That was our break. We would do Counter Strike, and we would do what's the other one with the Clancy game, Ghost Recon. The
Yeah.
first ones of those came out. So currently, I have all the Battlefields. I also have the newest Tom Clancy,
Okay.
which is pretty cool, and I'm probably gonna get the when it comes out here in the next couple weeks.
Well, keep an eye on Far Cry 5 because they have actually simulated the fishing in that game. You should go on YouTube and check some videos out where they're fishing because you have to throw the line in and then rotate the wheel, to get it in. It's really
Right, right.
nice. Yeah.
Are you
Okay.
doing that for food so you can survive?
No, it's just bragging rights for how
Uh,
big is
uh,
yours.
okay.
Yeah.
I never win those.
Hmm. Okay. Next. Um, do you stay calm under attack, or do you start overdriving the car? So when someone's behind you and they're pressing you bumper to bumper, can you stay cold as ice, or do you panic?
It fluctuates.
It
I
fluctuates.
try I try to stay calm, but sometimes, arrow push a little bit, because as soon as they take that turn a little bit late, I'm not braking as early because I don't want to brake check the person behind me, I think.
Hmm.
And so I might not brake at my normal spot because he's right on my ass, and so then I'm late braking and then I'm wide and then he passes me. So that's a mistake I make all the time where I'm just gonna the best thing to do is know he's there, but I have the line and I'm in front. So if I brake, he's got to brake or hit
Yeah,
me.
that's
If
something you see a lot of. That some
yeah,
guys they let the driver behind them dictate how they drive. So if
right.
you normally brake on a certain point and you're feeling pushed by someone behind you, you start braking a little bit later. Not only
Yes.
because you want to win time, but also because you're afraid that he's going to hit you.
Right, exactly, and
Yeah,
ruin my race.
yeah,
I don't care if he
exactly.
passes me
Yeah,
because I'm going to pass him later because obviously the way he's driving, he's going to burn up his tires.
yeah.
So,
In the first few laps.
right, I think that a lot too. So I'm very patient. I'm a very patient racer. I don't mind starting in the back. It's almost safer sometimes.
um, when you
Hmm.
race, do you have a killer instinct or is it just a game?
It's a game with the killer instinct,
It's a game
but
with a
it's
killer instinct.
but it's not overkiller instinct. It's like I love the good competitive fun, and I really appreciate it when somebody's done something like I have good battles, and even Ricardo, man, it took him 3 laps to get around me in that DTM, and
Yeah,
and he was saying afterwards, he goes, man, that was really good,
yeah.
and I
And it is really good if you respect the other opponent. If
right,
you stay the gentleman, you can have a really good race.
yeah,
Yeah,
and that's when it shines, and those are the moments, and they might not be as many as the other moments, but those are the moments that make it all work.
yeah. Those are the best races. If you have two
Yes.
guys that are compatible with each other, they have respect for each other, and you let each other live, that's when it becomes really enjoyable. How many times did you crash because you were daydreaming?
Oh, over the amount of years I've been racing, I have the TV on. I get interrupted through kids through the years. So I
Yeah.
would say out of my 12 years of 15 years of racing, I've probably been confused 11% of the time and
11%.
and
So,
taken out of a race.
well, I'm talking about, so you're racing and maybe you're way ahead of the guy behind you. Let's say like 20 seconds. So you're not under pressure and you're driving the car, and it's halfway through the race, and you start thinking about how many liters should I take? How much fuel did I save? Or you start thinking about strategy, or maybe about grocery shopping or whatever. And
Yeah.
and what happens to me is that I suddenly forget where I am on track, and I've missed my braking points by 50 meters, and I suddenly end up in the grandstand. I think, what the hell happened? So it's like
Yes.
a blind spot. And I
Okay.
would say that happened to me 30% of all the races.
I see what
Actually,
you're
a
saying.
lot.
Yes, that exact same thing has happened to me.
Yeah.
It's like, and that, or there'll be 2 laps left, and it's like, man, if I finish here, I'm gonna have this many points, and I'm gonna have a jump on that, and
Yeah.
I might even have a shot at the top. Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
or
that
or you're
happens.
thinking about the other guy's strategy. So he's just pitted, and you have barely enough fuel for 2 more laps, and you're thinking about, well, I should save a little bit of fuel now, or I'm not gonna make the pits. Or should I sacrifice the lap and come in now? So you're thinking about all that stuff, and you forget that you're driving, and then you crash the car. So it's all become academic.
Yes, it's so true.
Yeah. Okay. The last question, Rob. What is more important, winning the race or having a good fight in a lower position?
Oh, I'm gonna go with having a good fight in a lower position.
Yeah,
Only because I haven't won that. I've never been like the guy that wins. 80% of the races. So when I win a race, it's a big deal for me, and I just am ecstatic. I'm happy with top five. If I have a point, that's why I like having 10 place points races. If I'm in the points, that's good. I'm happy. So I'm all about having a good time.
I'm with you there. Totally agree. That's it, Rob.
That's it.
Thank you very much for your cooperation, for joining us, and we're going to see you on track.
All right.